What's up YouTube, Capital G here, checking out the brand new Incantation cards that just got leaked coming out of Savage Strike. There was actually a massive leak for this set that was about 20 plus cards last night. Not going to do all the cards in this video because the video would end up being way too long and a lot of them some of you guys might not even care about. So I'll kind of break them down into smaller videos so you guys can pick and choose if you're interested in watching those. Let's go ahead and start with the Incantation stuff because I've always thought that Incantation just on their face value are a really strong archetype, and so far they've kind of just been a sub archetype. A lot of people just use them as a splashable package for ritual decks like Nekroz and Cyber Angels and Demise. People use them for already established decks, but now they're getting their own ritual spell and they're getting their own ritual monster as well, and that's really cool. Although I think as an engine they are still incredibly strong because when you go through their full rotation you basically end up with a +2 for the only restriction of you not being able to special summon from the extra deck, which a lot of ritual decks don't really care about anyways. You special summon one of your incantations from your hand, you get another one from your deck, there's your +1, and then when the one from your deck is summoned, it's going to go ahead and search a ritual spell or monster, there's your +2. But let's go ahead and check out the brand new ritual spell first. This is Incantation Celebration. It's a ritual spell, and the second effect is the hard ones per turn. First effect says ritual summon a ritual monster from your hand. You must also tribute incantation monsters from your hand or field whose total level equals the ritual monster's level or more. Alright, so that's basically ritual summoning 101. I know that there is the drawback of you only being able to tribute incantation monsters, but I don't really think that that's a problem because, as I said before, when you reveal one of them and you special summon it from the hand, you generally are going to end up with 2 monsters on field, and those levels can be anywhere from 7 to 10. If you get 10 levels, I don't think there will be many ritual monsters you're going to ritual summon that you won't be able to pay for with the monsters that you just got on field for free, essentially. So I don't think that that's going to be really a problem, and you can use monsters from your hand as well, so I think that that's actually pretty good. And one of the cool things about this is this can ritual summon monsters outside of the archetype. You can use this to ritual summon like the Nekroz of Valkyries or, you know, Nekroz of Trishula or stuff like that, so that's obviously really good. But the second effect is what really makes this splashable in my opinion. It says if this card is in your graveyard, you can send one incantation card except another copy of Celebration from your hand or face up from your field to the graveyard, special summon one incantation monster from your deck, then add this card from your graveyard to your hand. This is absolutely amazing because the reason I like this, and at first I was like, okay, so it recovers itself, but you're not gonna have a ritual monster to do anything with. But then I thought about it, if you're summoning one from your deck, then you can just summon one of your incantation monsters that searches a ritual monster when it's special summoned. So I mean, really, you will be getting a ritual monster. And what I like about this is, let's just say that all you have is a random incantation monster, but you don't have a ritual monster. This basically can pay for a full ritual summon because you discard that incantation monster in your hand, you're going to special summon one from your deck, that monster will summon itself, and then it'll add a ritual monster, and then you're adding the ritual spell, and then you can use the monster that you just summoned to, you know, pay for the ritual summon. If it's a low level monster, maybe like a Nekroz of Colossalus or a Nekroz of Unicorn, you should be perfectly fine. One monster should actually cover that summon. So if you're running a deck like Nekroz or maybe Cyber Angels, I definitely think that I could see you running one copy because you're probably running a whole bunch of incantations anyways, and it's not really going to be a dead card because even if you have to discard it for something like Twin Twister, you can get it back from the graveyard anyway, so that's really not a problem. The next card is actually their new ritual monster, which I love the artwork of this card. I really hope that this is an ultra rare. It probably won't be because I believe that none of the cards in the archetype have been hollow so far. They came out in Cybernetic Horizon, right? The ritual set. This is Incantation Chalice Lime, and it's so awesome, man. It looks like something out of Dragon Quest, if you guys have ever played like the Dragon Quest video games. It's a level 7 dark aqua ritual monster. Wow, how many dark aquas do we have in Yu-Gi-Oh? That's such a strange attribute and type combination. I know that some of you guys are like, come on, Cat, we don't care about that, talk about the card. It's just, I don't know, it's so bizarre to me. 2500 attack, 1800 defense. It says you can ritual summon this card with Incantation Celebration, which was the card we just talked about. The first effect, well, it says you can only use one effect among the first and second effects per turn, and only once that turn. So you can't use both of the effects in the same turn. The first effect says you can reveal this card in your hand. you will lose 2,500 life points during the end phase of this turn if you do not ritual summon a monster after activating this effect this turn. Also, discard one card, and if you do, special summon one incantation monster from your deck. Now, the thing about this is discarding is not a cost on this card. The only cost on this card is actually revealing this card. So that's really cool, because if your opponent decides that they want to Ash Blossom you, you don't actually lose anything. In fact, I think your opponent just goes neg. I mean, you won't be able to activate this effect again, but your opponent will actually go neg in that sense. This is a really good effect because it has the potential of taking your dead cards and basically being able to get you an incantation. That's what I think Konami is trying to go for here. Like, the incantations are absolutely amazing if you have already drawn into them, but as of right now, there's really no way of getting to them if you don't already have them. Both of these cards have ways of summoning incantation monsters straight from your deck, so Konami's trying to accelerate the rate of you being able to get to these cards, whether you hard draw into them or, you know, now you have ways of just getting them from the deck. And obviously, when you summon that monster from the deck, that monster is going to search. Also, another thing about that first effect, you do not have to ritual summon this card. Let's just say that you activate Chalice Slime's effect, but then you decide, you know what, I don't want to summon that, I want to summon Nekroz or Valkyrie or something like that. You will not take any damage because all you have to do is special summon a ritual monster. It does not have to be this ritual monster. Hell, you don't even technically have to ritual summon. If you wanted to activate Premature Burial for ritual monsters, essentially a card called Fulfillment of the Contract, you could basically just cheat the condition with something like that, because you are technically special summoning a ritual monster and you won't have to take any damage. The second effect says you can send one incantation card that is in your hand or face up on your field, then target one monster your opponent controls, destroy that monster. Okay, it's a nice little utility effect. To me, this is kind of like icing on the cake. You can launch this card and throw it at one of your opponent's monsters. Essentially, it becomes kind of an exile force at that point, or you can use other incantation monsters on the field. A lot of them, if you're not going to use them for ritual summoning, or you're not going to tribute them for like Nekroz or Valkyrie, they don't really serve that much of a purpose because you can't use them for link material. So now you have a way of being able to use those, and of course you can use ones in your hand. But the thing about incantations is I do not believe that these cards are enough to make it a full-on, like, you can't run this as a standalone deck. I think that still the best way that you can run incantations is in other decks, like using it as kind of a support engine for decks like Nekroz and Demise, because they have one ritual monster, but it's not good enough to basically be like a full-on archetype. If the effect was a quick effect and it had some other type of like really amazing stun effect, then maybe, but this is not enough to carry its own, for it to carry like a standalone deck. I kind of wonder, because at first I thought incantation was just supposed to be a sub-archetype, or really an archetype that specifically helped ritual decks, but now it seems like Konami's turning it into its own ritual deck. So I think really what the archetype is going to need, if you're ever going to play it as a standalone deck, is just more ritual monsters, like really strong ritual monsters is what it's going to need. Very hard to make a ritual deck around one ritual monster. We've seen that in the past. I think it's kind of only been successful with Herald of Perfection, but I've played other ones like Prediction Princess. Very fun archetype, but not good enough to be anywhere near competitive. So whatever you guys think of this new support, leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already. Turn on that notification bell for daily videos, and check out these other videos I think you'll enjoy.